Today is Tuesday, June the 10th, and you can see that we had a mixed market. The Nasdaq was down 1.4%. The Dow and the Dow was up. The S&P was down a little bit. The key thing here is that the McClellan oscillator has moved into the overbought area. It spent quite a bit of time up here. It was about 4 days in here the last time it was up there. But let's take a look at the charts. The S&P pulled back, but look at this. It closed the gap. Gaps are really important. And yesterday's gap was just closed, and then we had a bounce back today. So we can get rid of that gap. And I think that we can say that we can look forward to another run at 35.88. It may not be right away. We've got a flat cloud here, a flat cloud there. But I don't see any pullbacks. NIO is an interesting one today. We're looking at the 15-minute. Let's look at the 5-minute, because the 5-minute with the Woody's pivots is really how this stock is being traded. And you can see that at the open today, we just started to move down. We passed the pivot point, came down to S1, came down to just above support 2, and the buyers were sitting just above support 2. But the 200% Fibonacci was not in play today. It sliced through there, down and up in both directions. And then we came up and we almost tested the pivot point, and then we dropped off. So the Woody's pivots have been really good if you're looking to play NIO, buy, sell, hedge with short calls. Whoa, we certainly don't want to see that mess. But this is what it looks like if we take out all of our, well, we won't take these out, but we saw this big ranging candle today, not quite yesterday's high, but certainly well below yesterday's low and even below the 3 days. So this is like almost an NR3. But not quite. But we're still looking at 46.98. And if you take a look at tip ranks, you can see the recent analysts' recommendations from JP Morgan, for example, yesterday, and someone else have been a buy. Apple had its press release today on some new Mac computers. Look at this. Yesterday was support on the 50 simple moving average. Today was exactly support on the 50 extended moving average, expanded moving average. And we didn't quite make to the bottom of the cloud. Ended the day on a perfect doji right in the middle. So the situation is still long-term bullish for Apple, but we did have trouble breaking that 78.6 yesterday. Got this flat cloud up here, which could very well attract. And we can look at Apple as being something to continue to hold on to. Caterpillar, there's Caterpillar. Home Depot, there's Home Depot just struggling below the cloud. Let's just take a quick look at some of the banks, because yesterday they had an amazing day. Let's take a look at Goldman Sachs, up 1.8%. JP Morgan just down 0.3%. US Bank pretty well flat, just down 2 cents. So the banks are still performing well. So where are we headed? Because we're overbought on the McClellan. We could see a bit of a pullback. And I said we've got the flat cloud here and the flat cloud there. I would look for support on the 8 EMA and then another test of 35.88. There's no reason to sell anything. I will continue to add NIO on strength. I sold the November 43 calls today as it was pulling back, so for $4.10. Can you imagine that? So now I've got the selling the calls on NIO are just great because there's so much volatility premium built in there that there's really good money to be made there. So I know that I promised Tom that I would do a video on buying stock and selling calls against those stock for premium. I just haven't figured out how I'm going to to put it all together to make a convincing argument. But this exactly what I'm doing with NIO. Now I've got 1,000 shares, but 500 of them have the short November 41 calls at 310, so my break even is 44 roughly. And I've got the short 43 calls at 410, so my break even there is 47.10. So I'm pretty confident that it's going to be a profitable play. And if not, you know, I've got several $1,000s that I'll collect on November the 20th from those short calls and be able to reinvest in some stock.